Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of ECTV News. I'm Ray Newcomb.
And I'm Brooke O'Leary.
Stop by LIB 112 this Wednesday for Whedon Wednesdays. Bring a lunch and enjoy some of the works of Joss Whedon.
Come take in the arts this Wednesday at noon in the VPAC with the Student Invitational Art Exhibition.
Come help out the North Shore CDC this Thursday at 4 as they host their Steffi's Kitchen event. Dinner will be provided.
Help those in need this Friday at 6:30 in the Northeast ARC host their weekly event Friday night. Transportation will be provided.
Now let's take it to sports with Jocelyn Kane.
Hello and welcome back to your home for Endicott Sports. For ECTV, I'm Jocelyn Kane. The men's basketball team has a 16-5 overall record with a 12-2 conference record. Since we've been back on campus, they've been on a winning streak, defeating 7 teams since January 17th. The teams defeated by the Gulls include Western New England, Wentworth, UNE, Gordon, Salve Regina, Eastern Nazarene, and Roger Williams. This week they played Nichols at home for conference play on Wednesday, Curry this Saturday, then Wentworth next Tuesday. On the women's side, they have a 10-10 overall record with a 6-4 conference record. Since we've been back on campus, the Lady Gulls have won 4 games and lost 2. They defeated Wentworth, UNE, and Gordon and Salve. This past Saturday, they fell to Roger Williams 53-45. This week, they play Nichols at home for conference play Wednesday, Curry this Saturday, then Wentworth next Tuesday. The men's lacrosse team is ranked number 13 in the nation's preseason poll for their 2015 season. They open up their season on Sunday, February 22nd against Stevens. The men's volleyball team is off to a rough start with a 1-6 overall record. Recently, they fell to both LaSalle and Rivier in the Live Free or Die tournament. They play Regis Tuesday the 10th and Elms Thursday the 12th this week. That's it for this week's recap on Endicott Sports. For ECTV, I'm Jocelyn Kane. Back to you in the studio.
Do you like pizza? If so, you're in luck this Friday at 9 p.m. as Late Night Local will be hosting their Sexes Like Pizza event in the Lower Callahan.
Come dig in the collection of Professor Kathy Desmond with a contemporary antiques exhibit in the VPAC. The exhibition opens at noon and is open to all. And here's international news with Scarlett Gonzalez.
Thanks, Brooke. Today for international news, we'd like to start in the Western Hemisphere. United States is not the only country going through debates about their immigration policies. Haitians are currently being deported in large numbers from Brazil, Dominican Republic, the Bahamas, as well as the Turks and Caicos Islands in the Caribbean. Many international organizations like Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, among others, are naming the new policies in the countries as discriminatory and targeted only towards the Haitian population. Unfortunately, many of the Haitians being deported are underage. They also know very little about Haiti, the country they are being deported to, since many of them were born in the place of their current residence, and most have never even visited Haiti. In other places, like in Nigeria camps. Though Nigeria is one of Africa's most economically stable countries, it has many other challenges to face, one of them being the safety within their refugee camps. Nigeria, among other African countries, is known to have several camps that bring up questionable practices, the most controversial being the witchcraft camps in Nigeria, where many women are sent to after being accused of witchcraft. Here, these women are outcasted from their communities and forced to go through numerous mortifying activities in order to regain the community's trust and prove they are no longer witches. At the moment, Nigeria's refugee camps might also be committing to unforgivable violence. The camps are currently under investigation for alleged abuses such as rape, child trafficking, among others. The camps were created to house people fleeing from the militant Islamic group Boko Haram. The country's National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has formed a panel to investigate the abuses. Let's just hope that the investigations report the truth and those who have been harmed can reach safety. In other news, in France, the families of two French girls whom were accidentally switched at birth 20 years ago have been awarded nearly 2 million euros in damages. Both babies had been treated in the same incubator and were then given to the wrong parents. Although both mothers expressed doubts at the time about their babies because of their different skin tones and hair lengths, they were sent home anyways. The error was discovered 10 years ago when one of the set of parents were still plagued about the doubts and had ran through tests which proved neither of them was the biological parent of their daughter, Manon. Thank goodness that now they can know the truth of their biological parents. Lastly, I would like to just end on a quick fact about current international news. As we know, violence, specifically homicides, is an ever-present international concern that many countries are trying to resolve. While Australia might be on the way of something good, as its murder rates reach an all-time low since the National Homicide Monitoring Programs began compiling records in 1989. That is all for today. My name is Scarlett Gonzalez Mejia. Thank you for watching the International News segment. Back to the desk.
And now let's go to Eric Mangrum as he interviews Kira Petrie.
All right, hello everyone. I'm Eric Mangrum. Today I'm going to be interviewing Kira Petrie about her wonderful adventures abroad. So first of all, how are you?
I'm good. Very good.
Good. How are you dealing with the snow?
It's a lot, but you know what? I'm trucking through it, I guess.
A little bit different from her adventure studying abroad. She was just in Guatemala this past Thanksgiving, right? Mm-hmm. So how was that?
It was fantastic. I went down actually to visit a friend that was an exchange student here. Became really good friends with her and kept in touch. And she ended up inviting me down to spend 12 days with her family and friends down in Guatemala City. So
do you have any future plans where you're going to go next? Or
well, I'm doing my thesis on the recipe of happiness and kind of what different cultures perceive as happiness and what different factors go into that. And so I'm trying to maybe do my next study abroad somewhere where I'm going to like focus in on a specific country, and I haven't really like decided that yet. But
so what is your definition of happiness if you're going to be doing a thesis about it?
Well, particularly I'm looking at kind of like individualism and collectivism, which you find a lot differing between Western religions and Eastern religions. So I can't really give you the recipe myself, I guess, because I've got a bit more research to do on that. But that's kind of where I'm looking, I guess, in religion, if religion plays a big role in it or not.
So what actually made you think about this as a thesis topic?
Well, I found out something pretty cool. Actually, I don't really know who told me about it, but Nepal, which is next to Bhutan, around India and China, Bhutan does a national gross happiness rate. And so they rate their people on how happy they are. And I thought that was really interesting, and so I wanted to take an interesting topic and use it as a thesis. So I kind of developed off of that.
So what created this whole bug to travel? Because you've been a couple places, correct? Mm-hmm. Where have you been? And what created that?
Well, originally I was studying abroad in Madrid, Spain. And I spoke a little bit of Spanish before I left. And I kind of wanted to go somewhere that I could solidify that language. And so I kind of chose Madrid, Spain, because I wanted to study abroad kind of in Europe and figure that out. And so I've been to Italy, Portugal, and Spain. And so I didn't travel around a ton in Europe, but I did see a lot in Spain, traveled around all the way from north to south in Spain. And then this past break, I went to Guatemala. So, yeah.
So what created that though? What made you just go out there? Because personally for me, I would never go study abroad. I can't do it. I don't know why. But what made you really go? I want to go here, and I want to do my thesis about studying abroad. What all collectively just made you want to study abroad in general?
Probably my love of photography. Actually, I've kind of since I was little had this dream of working for National Geographic someday. Yeah. And I love the magazines and looking at all the travel photos and all the different cultures and people that the photographers meet around along the way. And so I really got into photography, but mostly portrait and documentary photography. And so I wanted to go somewhere where I could meet new people of different cultures and be able to kind of capture their life with a photo.
So speaking about photos, we were in that film class together.
Yes,
and you did
we
a
were.
wonderful, I remember about your Thanksgiving break in Guatemala. So would you want to do videos too or just photography?
You know, it would be really cool if I could expand on my film knowledge because I'm not super good at it.
It was really good. It was really good. It blew mine out of the water by a mile. But
Yeah, well, if I could get some good equipment, I think a little better than what I had, it would be really fun to shoot there as well. Definitely.
well, thank you for being here with us
Thanks.
today. So I'm Eric Mangum. Once again, we're here with Kara Petrie. Have a good one.
This Tuesday at 6 in the Wax Auditorium as guest speaker Tim Wise speaks on anti-racism.
Now let's take it to Erica Berman as she interviews Connor O'Keefe.
Hello, I'm Erica Berman, and I have with me Connor O'Keefe from The Observer. So Connor, what is your title at The Observer?
Well, I'm the news editor, and basically just what I do is I get the articles after our writers, do them, and I just look them over for grammatical errors, and then I just send them off to publish.
All right, so we are starting a new semester, so can more people join The Observer if they want to?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always looking for new writers. I mean, we actually have a position open for our features editor, I believe. So yeah, anybody with experience writing already is welcome to apply for that. And yeah, always looking for new writers.
All right, so how would you go about joining or writing?
Joining up is as simple as just showing up to the meetings. They're every other Tuesday in the Lower Callahan. We have an office down there. I couldn't, off the back of my hand, give you the number of the office, but
If you look for it, you'll find it.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just show up to the meetings, or if you want to just get right into it, you can email either myself or the editor-in-chief, Kaylee Brown, or Graham Ramina. We're the three editors as it stands right now.
So what is your email address? Could you just tell us that?
My email address is COKEE916@mail.endicott.edu.
All right. So what is a typical meeting at The Observer?
A typical meeting is, the writers and the editors show up, we talk about what we did right, what we did wrong with the last issue, and then we sort of talk about article ideas, things that we could do for the next one. Then we just assign them, and people generally, write about what they want to write about, and then they just go on their way, and then we have them due the next Wednesday.
All right, so what can we expect in the next issue of The Observer?
The next issue, we got a lot of good articles coming up. We got a piece about the opening of Gullies, the new club on campus, and we have one about Valentine's Day. I think that's more of a feature. And we have a couple new columns. One of them is a movie review column done by yours truly. So yeah, just a lot of new things coming up. Creative writing pieces are always welcome, and we have a couple of those coming up. So yeah, just a lot of cool new stuff.
So what are the difference between like a feature and a column?
A column is basically like a feature, which is just written by the same person about a different topic every week. So my movie review column, for example, it's going to be pretty much the same thing every issue, but just me talking about a different movie, whereas the features will change, given what's going on campus.
All right, that sounds good. So if you want to write just once, you could write just a feature.
Yeah,
Is that
absolutely. You could. There's no, contracts or anything like that. You can just show up once and write once and then be done.
All right, that sounds good. So if you're interested in The Observer, stop by. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's all for today for ECTV. I'm Brooke O'Leary. Stay safe and see you next week.